Good morning. It's me, Anzej, and the BM. It's going to be a really great day at the Estoril track. The new BMW S1000RR, you could say it's been 10 years of domination. I know someone will say it wasn't domination in Superbikes, it wasn't domination in MotoGP, but if you look at track days, if you look at smaller series like the Polish Championships or Alpe Adria, those BMs really made a big impact there, and for many years motivated other manufacturers, both Japanese and non-Japanese, to improve the performance of their machines. Here's the new BM, completely new. Look, nothing here is consistent with the previous model. A completely new frame. And just look at how strange this frame is. It's delicate, bent upwards like that. A totally new engine. And of course, new semi-active suspension. There's also a version with a normal standard one, but it probably won't be presented here. A new rear shock absorber and a swing arm inspired by MotoGP bikes, as they say, or Superbikes. The point is, it's routed underneath just like it used to be. This is a problematic solution because of those huge mufflers required by Euro 4 and soon Euro 5, but here they managed to pull it off. Another interesting fact is that they managed to move the rear shock absorber quite far away from the engine, which means it doesn't heat up as much. And apparently it also improves rear wheel traction if it's set away from the frame and positioned vertically. What's also interesting about this shock absorber is just look at how thick the piston rod is. It's only down there deep inside where the working range is located. And it's not any smaller, it's about the same as in the previous model. So there are a lot of interesting solutions here. What you noticed yesterday, rather, what I asked you to pay attention to is that the handlebars are connected to the upper triple clamp. Now, BMW assumed that those who will be riding on the track will install clip-ons anyway. So in the setter, you can buy it separately, or in some versions, it will be included. There will be just a clamp that closes off the triple clamp, and we can mount adjustable clip-ons underneath. And if not, even if we crash on the stock motorcycle, we only need to replace this part. We don't have to replace the entire triple clamp. So that's important. What's the most important thing? I'll get to that in a moment. I'll go over to the engine. Because honestly, when you look at this engine, it already looks like a racing engine. 207 horsepower, 140 Newton meters. And most importantly, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I'm right, 4 kilograms have been shaved off just from the power unit itself. 4 kilograms. Overall, when it comes to reducing the weight of this motorcycle, they really went all out. 11 kilograms? Sorry, I might be wrong because we're getting bombarded with so many numbers, but the weight savings are just incredible. And 207 horsepower, I think it's going to be great. 207 horsepower supported by the ShiftCam system. The same as in the GS, the R1250 GS. Look, here are the variable cams, and I'll show you in a moment how it works. Thanks to this, we should have over 100 Newton meters of torque already from 5,000 RPM. Damn, what? On the track, you know, if we're going to ride fast, we'll be using maximum revs anyway, but in the city, this will drastically change the character of the motorcycle. Look, I'll even do this, see? Yes. Inside this device, there's a little pin, and it's electrically extended or retracted. Here's the second one. See how it turns now? It just clicked over. And here we have different cams. Oh, for example, this is one cam, and this is another. Now, whoosh, we'll switch it here. Keep turning. Watch out, whoosh. And it just clicked over, see? 2 different cams. Then the valve opens to a different height at a slightly different time. And thanks to that, the mixer can be more optimized. Oh, snap. The ShiftCam switches at 9,000 RPM. So that's when you just get a burst of power. And here are more weight savings. For example, the ABS look from 1.5 kilograms down to just one kilogram. This is the previous ABS pump, and this is the current one. The control unit before, the control unit now. This, look, crankshaft. A savings of 1.7 kilograms. Now, those are some serious numbers. And you know what? This is what determines, oh, damn. No kidding, that's a big difference. Look, whoosh here, but here it's not so whoosh. Yeah, this is what determines how quickly the motorcycle turns. Contrary to what you might think, it's not the whole weight of the body, but what spins inside it. So that also affects how quickly it will rev up. Really interesting stuff. As for the machine itself, you guys are discussing the looks, saying it's a bit like a Panigale. Do you know why there are no more of those asymmetrical headlights? The reason they were there was to save weight. You know, you needed a few less lights on one side because you didn't need high beams, so there would be fewer. Now the lights are fully LED, so there was no need to do that anymore. But there are other places where they took an extreme approach to reducing weight. For example, there's no rear light. I laughed and said, come on guys, that rear light was such a distinctive feature on your motorcycle. I said, yeah, but it weighed quite a bit. And now you don't see it anymore at this point with the license plate mount and the turn signals on the sides. The turn signals simply serve as both the position lights and brake lights. It's funny, just like on a Harley, literally. Besides that, there's a ton of bells and whistles, gadgets, and electronics. What I'd like to point out is that, honestly, all these finishes are a bit plasticky. When you start looking at the details, the materials don't exactly blow you away. But you know what? Still, anyone who gets this motorcycle will probably use it on the track. And there, it really doesn't matter at all. The point here is to keep the weight as low as possible, Oh, and this is interesting too. A very simplified gear shifting system. I mean, of course, we have a quick shifter that works both up and down. And if we want to reverse the gear pattern, so that first gear is up and the rest are down, all you have to do is unscrew this here, turn it over here, and that's it. On this side of the motorcycle, there's something that mainly concerns the LRP team and Marcinko Sokolanovsky, the water pump. Its plastic cover is located in such a spot that if you slide out, it will definitely get damaged. So you'll need to use some good crash pads here. I know that WorldMade already has a solution for this. The mounting here is similar, so they'll definitely be able to handle it. The good thing is that it's plastic, so if anything happens, it's pretty easy to replace. The brakes are no longer Brembo, but Hayes. The truth is, it doesn't make any difference. The engineer said that during testing, they took brakes from different manufacturers branded as BMW and held a tender for these brakes. They gave them to the testers. The testers didn't know which brakes were which. They voted on which calipers were best, and the ones from Hayes won, not Brembo. Funny, isn't it? What's next? The gauges. Don't be surprised that there's a red zone here. It's because the engine is cold right now. Whenever it's cold, it warns us not to rev it too high. The menu works nicely. Theoretically, it's very complicated. Look, this is the track riding mode. It shows how much traction control is working, how hard we're braking. But we also have other views. A lap timer, which we can use manually, or if we connect the GPS, it will work automatically. But that's an accessory. Another view for the undecided. If they want something like this, and I'd like to go into the settings somewhere. I didn't look into this yesterday, so let's see if it's included. Oh, snap. Get out of here. My vehicle. Maybe. Some information. Information. I don't know if it wouldn't be better to talk it over with someone who can explain it to me later. It may be definitely better. But see, settings, racetrack configuration, about, and you see riding modes. Hello Bartek. Hiya. This is an acquaintance, Bartek Wilczynski. Hello Bartek. Regards. They have banned us from racing, but we will absolutely do it anyway. Yes, I am trying to figure out exactly how to do this within the vehicle settings menu. Lap timer, HSC Pro calibration. Listen, it's so complicated, but at the same time, apparently once you learn it, it's simple, so I'll deal with it later. I don't want to now. I'm going to get dressed and then I'll ride the bike with Bartek. So please wait patiently for my very first detailed impressions from the exciting ride experience.